Operative National League One, but while Batley are aiming for the playoffs, Dewsbury are threatened with relegation. The National League One table will tell you that Batley are in 7th place with 3 wins and 5 defeats from their 8 games. Dewsbury are bottom of the pile without a win so far. Their 4 points have all come through the bonus point system. They're 6 points behind Whitehaven in 9th place. This is the 5th meeting between these two sides this season. It's honours even so far, but as far as National League One goes, it's the Batley Bulldogs who have reason for confidence. They line up with Ian Preece at fullback, Ollie Marnes, Kevin King, Danny Morn, Bolo Fagboren, Francis Maloney, who returns to the side after a 6-match absence through injury, and young Paul Mennell. In the forwards, Luke Stenchen, Chris Lythe, Byron Smith, Kevin Crowthers, Tim Spears and Craig Farrell, the captain at loose forward. On the bench for the Bulldogs, Ashley Lindsay, Andy Boothroyd, Anthony Henderson and John Simpson. The coach is Gary Thornton. Well, the Dewsbury Rams sacked their coach Andy Kelly a few weeks ago. Warren Jowett is caretaker coach at the moment as they look for a replacement. He names this side Tom Colleran at full-back, Bryn Powell, Chris Langley, Chris Hall, Austin Buchanan, Ryan Smith and Liam Finn, who captains the team from 7. In the forwards, Aaron Trinder, Jim Elston, David Rourke, Taron Wildey, Chris Charles back in the British game after a spell in France, and Terry Glassy. On the bench, Patrick Walker, Andrew Bostock, Martin Robinson and Jake Wilson. The coach, in a caretaker capacity at the moment, Warren Jowett. Jowett does want the job full-time. There is Gary Thornton, though, and continuing a successful run here at the Batley club, keeping them in National League One against a lot of odds, in fact. Not one of the best supported clubs in the competition, though. A good turnout here tonight on a beautiful evening. For once, Mount Pleasant certainly living up to that name. The sun is shining and the pitch looking in immaculate condition. Batley going into this game on the back of a 56 points to 28 defeat at Celtic Crusaders. Dewsbury losing 20 points to 28 at home to Lee Centurions, and that was an improvement from this Dewsbury side as they take the field. As I said, they've yet to win a game this season, but they have shown signs of improvement. They certainly did so against Lee and were leading at one point, and they'll be hoping that they can maybe turn the form book on its head here at Mount Pleasant tonight. But as ever, Batley with this slope, which always seems to act in their favour, they'll be firm favourites, I think, to continue Dewsbury's misery at the foot of the table.
This Dewsbury team have got to really turn up. I've just seen the Batley side running out here for the applause. In derby games, you've got to turn up with the right attitude. You play big, physical, tough games, but what you've got to do is you've got to control your emotions, and that's what you're going to see. Looking at these two teams when they were in the warm-up, and they were really making an extra hit on the pad. They were talking a lot, they were talking it up. They both want a real big start, Bill.
The referee there, the referee tonight is Dave Merrick. And before he gets the game underway, this Batley club will pay tribute to one of their supporters who died recently, Colin Blakely, who died at the end of May at the age of 67, and he'd been supporting the club since the age of 9, standing on the terraces through rain and shine, and a classic supporter, and he will be honoured by a minute's silence here at Mount Pleasant tonight, the crowd standing in his honour.
Thank you.
Fitting tribute then for loyal supporter Colin Blakely, from this big crowd at Mount Pleasant to now look forward to what is always a tasty derby match, and certainly was so on Sky Sports last season when we covered these two sides, and it was just a couple of months ago, in fact, when Batley won at Dewsbury. And it'll be the Bulldogs to get us underway through the boot of Francis Maloney, back in the side. He actually damaged knee ligaments in that win at Dewsbury, his former club. He's been out for 6 games and he's back tonight, and remarkably he was supposed to be out for something like 12 weeks. He's come back 4 weeks early. He says he's a quick healer, which isn't bad for a player of his age, 35 years old.
35 years old and 19 seasons in the professional game. A tremendous servant to rugby league in general. But speaking to Paul Harrison before the match, they just said it's such a lift for the Batley players to see him in the changing room. It's worth the gamble.
It's Dewsbury in possession, and they are playing up the hill here, and you cannot really overstate the effect of this slope. And it's not possibly so evident on a night like this, where the pitch looks lovely, the conditions are great. On a cold, wet day, this is a much more pronounced disadvantage.
It looks immaculate, just get the kick away, but there's 10-foot difference from one end to the other. This Batley side know the conditions, they know what the pitch is, they know what they've got to do in this first half, and they always choose to go down into the down with the hill in the first half.
Just looking at the conditions, the pitch is like a carpet, as we see a penalty against Dewsbury. The Lou Fagboran wanting to get the game going a lot quicker than his Dewsbury opponents, but the pitch is immaculate. 1 or 2 Super League clubs will be looking at Jim Morley and asking the question, how do you get it in this condition?
So it's Batley in possession, and an opportunity to examine this Dewsbury defence as Craig Farrell, the Bulldogs captain, plays that ball. And here is Maloney to fullback Priest. Priest was looking to hit Kevin King, who was steaming up in support. Plays that ball. Maloney. Stenson plays the ball on the 20-metre line. Live. He's tackled 10 metres from that Dewsbury try line as Maloney hoists the crossfield kick, and the sun will be a factor as well. That's well taken by Bryn Powell, kept his eye on the ball as the traffic was arriving and made that one his.
That's a great take under the pressure there. Danny Moore, you watch out for him, the Batley number 4, the pressure that he puts on when the kick goes up. Look at him in shot there, fudged him, but what a great take.
We've already talked about the passion and enthusiasm on both sets of players in this game. It's the heavy woolen derby, heavily contested, and I always find it amazing the amount of players that actually spend time at both clubs. On the pitch tonight we've got 9 players that have been at both clubs, 6 at Batley and 3 at Dewsbury.
Chris Charles playing that ball back in the British game. He had a spell in France as player coach at Villeneuve, and that didn't work out. He's back and quickly snapped up by the Dewsbury side to bring his experience, and there's plenty of that, to their campaign and to their battle to try and stay in National League One. Warren Jowett there, caretaker coach at the moment. He's said this week that he does want to be considered for the job. Originally he was a bit cagey about it, but he now has thrown his hat into the ring, and I understand that the Dewsbury board will be considering applications. They've had plenty of those in the next few days. Meanwhile, it's Batley in possession again. Maloney, and that ball's come free and it's snapped up.
Mistake from Batley there, giving up field position. But Dewsbury won't hang around. They'll want to get up this slope as quick as they can. Just a good solid shot, jars the ball loose. Dewsbury on the attack.
Chris Hall plays the ball on that Batley 40-metre line. Then goes David Rourke.
David Rourke, he's got big shoes to fill on it tonight. Missing Dominic Maloney, he's got to take this team forward.
Yes, the one Maloney returns to the game. Francis, his cousin Dominic, is absent from the Dewsbury lineup. Knee problems. Here is Chris Charles. Chris Hall. That's going to find touch. It doesn't. They've managed to... Bryn Powell did well there, tiptoeing down the sideline to keep that ball in play. And that's Jim Elston wearing 9 for this Dewsbury side. Snapped up from Rochdale.
Judging a knock-on here.
Impact.
As it was jarred out in the impact.
He's from Liam. One on you.
I think he's right, yeah.
Wait a minute.
It's a bit of a scrappy start here at Mount Pleasant. No points on the board, 5 minutes gone. Oh, he did have a foot in touch.
He did, yeah. Bryn Powell did well to respect that possession. You always play to the whistle.
Get him lower.
Another penalty conceded. Chris Langley, I think the culprit.
This is where you try and force the team, and that was just too high. Hitting right on the chops. You've got to get lower than that. You've got to hit under the ribs. Try and turn him on his back. Give your teammates a bit of field position. Try and let him get back and get set for the next tackle.
Chris Charles, come on. Chris. Oh, here, wait.
Stenson plays the ball just about on the halfway line. Now here's Byron Smith, the big Welsh international in this Batley Bulldogs side.
Interesting to see Byron Smith in the second row and Kevin Carruthers in the front row. He's an aggressive player, Carruthers. We see him here with the ball. He's just slightly out wide, but very aggressive. I think that's what his coach is looking for him to bring.
Paul Mennell is tackled.
Wait, go.
Mennell plays the ball. Maloney again, really in the thick of it, Francis Maloney. That's the 5th tackle. Craig Farrell pops the ball back, and it's kept alive by Tim Spears, and still alive, but eventually Dewsbury managed to halt the manoeuvre.
It's not a bad set though, that, Bill. Kevin King looking for his runners there, looking to link up with Francis Maloney, coming back into the middle of the pitch, but there's just no runners there.
Smart play by Dewsbury, recognising that the centre was in at markers, and he went to the left straight away.
The Dewsbury working their way out of defence with David Rourke. Rourke is tackled by Chris Lythe. Ooh, big hit there. That was Kevin. No, touch judge is on, in fact. Tim Spears, I think, who was is going to get called out.
Yeah, he's looking for good line speed here. It's just a little bit too high. Needs to get down an eyebrow or two. There it is. Again, right on the button. Just a bit of touching, a bit of feeling. Trying to test the referee.
One of those ex-Dewsbury men out there at the moment, wearing Batley colours, and just getting a talking to from the referee David Merrick, and the penalty goes to the Dewsbury Rams. But have they found touch? They haven't. Yes, they have, despite the best efforts of Ian Preece. Couldn't prevent that one going into touch.
And it's a scrum down. Billy's saying that it was touched in flight, and it's head and feed to Dewsbury. Left off the hook there, let off the hook, I should say. Oh, again, touch and go.
So, Dewsbury with Austin Buchanan.
That's what I like about Austin Buchanan. He comes in field, trying to use his speed, trying to get on the big men. But just look at the way they seem to flood forward in numbers. This Dewsbury side have seemed to improve. The confidence is back, and they're looking for big Trinder now to try and make big inroads into this side.
Jim Elston, and here's Ryan Smith, and he's tackled just short of the try line. The 19-year-old on loan from the Castleford Tigers, Ryan Smith. Chris Charles fires that ball out, and here goes Aaron Trinder. The Dewsbury supporters on the terracing behind those posts that Dewsbury are attacking, cheered by that, but then that ball is popped up and into the arms of the Batley defence. It was Maloney who reacted to that. So a promising opportunity goes begging.
It's a long bullet pass. Perhaps a bit of deception in the flight, and just struggles. The Dewsbury player just can't regather it. Giving Batley the ball back. One or two mistakes in the early exchanges here. I think that reflects not only the pressure, but the emotion and the passion in this game.
Stand, release. Wait, go.
So still waiting for the first points, coming up to 9 minutes on the clock. There's Danny Morn. taking the first tackle of his game, and Morn playing tonight with big suspension hanging over him. He has a date with the disciplinary next week after his sending off at Celtic Crusaders last week, an incident that left Jace Van Dijk with a jaw broken in 2 places.
That was a great shot from Aaron Trinder before there, Bill. Sorry to interrupt, but sometimes shots like that can lift your team, and everybody gains that vital energy.
2, release, Craig.
Here we go, left shoulder, bang, Aaron Trinder. Get that into you.
3, Biden, move.
The Trindinator, they call him in Dewsbury supporters circles.
4, get him square.
Former junior Kiwi.
Get him square, Craig.
Rourke again, he's seen plenty of the ball, David Rourke.
5.
Just over halfway line, Dewsbury struggling to get progress up the slope here. Liam Finn, though, will put boot to ball down the middle of the field. Well, it was going down the middle of the field. Ollie Marnes thought it was, and then it took a wicked bounce, and it's knocked on, says Dave Merrick. Marnes incredulous at that decision.
Finn come up with a pinpoint kick, just Ollie Marnes just to bounce when. He loses left arm, leaves the ball.
Tidy scrums.
Done well to see that, the referee. But fair play.
Hold your head, get it in. Out.
And he's still giving the touch judge a bit of jip. Meanwhile, Dewsbury in possession with this young player, Ryan Smith. Did get a taste of first team action at Castleford, albeit in a couple of friendlies. But looking for first team action on a regular basis, and needs getting it here at the Dewsbury Rams.
Go.
Dewsbury playing the ball. It's Rourke once more, and
Clear. Bradley, 2 feet, 3.
he doesn't make much progress. Went across the field, really. Liam Finn. Terry Glassy now. It's good defence from Batley that time. The crowd like that.
That's interesting to see. Terry Glassy playing on the left-hand side, and the move seemed to be coming off him. Long ball from Liam Finn, out to Terry.
Trinder plays the ball. Liam Finn now. Finn with the cross-field kick into the corner. Well taken by Powell, but straight down into the arms of Ian Priest, I think it was.
Well, Baloo Fagboran here on the ball, susceptible to the high bomb. He's only a short player, and Dewsbury looking to target him, and they get away with it at that. On that play, he won't want too many of them, Baloo Fagboran. He'll want to damage them and hurt them with the ball as he can. Tremendous agility, that player.
Paul Mennell, who gathered that ball and probably brought 1 or 2 sighs of relief from Batley supporters, because that was a threat.
Got to be impressed by the way that Dewsbury started, but just giving the penalty away there. They've done all the hard work, the early few tackles, but the second attempt there, trying to keep him down. Been very, very impressed with them, the way that they've started this game. Defensively, very, very good. There's the second effort, trying to turn him over, give his teammates that bit more time. Conceded 110 points in the first part of the season, but they've started off strong. Batley deciding that they've got to kick over the top of them because they can't go through them.
Stenchen tackled just inside the Dewsbury half. Byron Smith now. Smith making good progress, almost found a way through there. Rourke it was with the tackle, Trinder in support, Stenchen again. The heavy brigade taking the ball up the middle. Now here's Maloney for Kevin King. King runs into some solid Dewsbury defence there. Again it's Rourke and Trinder. Now here's Craig Farrell. Mennell for Kevin Crowthers. Crowthers thought he'd seen a gap, but Dewsbury managed to keep him at bay. It was Chris Hall with the tackle. Mennell with a little grubber kick. That was imaginative, but well dealt with by Bryn Powell.
Yeah, I'm just noticing when Batley are in attacking positions, they're looking to set the team, get to the 50-yard line. Short little kick from the Batley player there. They're looking to get to the 50-metre line, or the 50% of the pitch, directly in line with the posts, and they're looking to attack the left. Look for that play over and over again, setting at the middle and attacking on the left.
Terry Glassy, the Cook Islander, plays the ball on his own 30-metre line, and that's the 5th tackle, and so Finn kicks downfield. Ian Priest gathers. and has time to run this ball back.
Talk about arm wrestles in games, and it's just like, again, Dewsbury, when they get up in good field position, you come up with the penalty. It'll be very, very disappointing for Warren Jowett.
I think it's actually Chris Langley who comes in. Not much in it, but again, the referee just needs to get a grip. He's having a word with the players in the middle of the pitch.
You'll just concentrate your tackling.
Well, that's the third high tackle, I think, that Dave Merrick has penalised. I think Langley's been done for 2 of them. So that penalty takes Batley up to the Dewsbury 30-metre line. And here's Byron Smith coming up to the 15-minute mark. Can Batley find a way through to break the deadlock here? Maloney, Mennell. Morn takes the tackle. Mennell. Chris Lythe now. Lythe, long ball for Byron Smith. Smith again onto Ian Priest. Priest gets away from 1, almost away from 2. It's Terry Glassy who makes the tackle in the nick of time. Threatening here now with Chris Lythe. Lythe got a hat-trick against Dewsbury last season. Is just short of that try line. King fires the ball out. Maloney, oh, Farrell did well to take that. Got man and ball at the same time, but he couldn't keep a hold of it. Not surprising, really, because I think he's taken a big thump there as Farrell.
That was a vicious shot. Whenever you've got the back to the play, oh, the Trindanator again gets a great shot, low down, right in the ribs, and he feels that as soon as he catches that ball, bang, impact. Again, I'm not going to keep repeating myself, but it was setting at the middle of the pitch.
Craig Farrell, a PE teacher at a school in Scarborough. Graham School, and he's back on his feet.
Wait, no.
Recovered, well, probably recovered's not the right word, but able to carry on after the effects of that big hit, and that promising Batley attack comes to nothing. Langley getting the bird from the Batley supporters after his brushes with authority already. Here's Austin Buchanan. He had a brush with authority against Batley as well, was sent off in a previous meeting. Indicative of the spice that is always evident when these two meet. Elston, here's Liam Finn. Chris Charles.
Just started to turn the ball back inside now. Bit of a tiring game this. They really, as it comes up with a good shot there.
Farrell it was. Bouncing back after being the subject of a big hit himself.
You know, it's funny, Bill, you talked about Chris Farrell getting up. Your pride gets you up. You don't want anybody to know that they've hurt you. Chris Farrell had to spend some time on the floor, and he'll be thinking in the back of his mind, I've got to get somebody back, anybody back.
Batley in possession then. Bolu Fagboran plays that ball. The tackling is fierce and firm out there. Ian Priest will testify to that as he gets to his feet to play the ball. Mennell for Byron Smith, and Smith and Rourke going head to head there. Rourke coming in hard. Smith just looking up to see what that was. Maloney. Spears.
Starting to have an influence, Francis Maloney, not just when he get the ball in hand, but he's directing his players and his troops, directing them at certain parts of the field and coming up with the kicks and trying to turn around this big Dewsbury side.
We've mentioned the pitch, Tezza. How do you think the Batley players would approach it? This is a beautiful kick from Francis Maloney. He just wants to pen Dewsbury down in that left-hand corner. How would you approach it? Would you choose to go downhill first or uphill first?
People always say that you want to go downhill, but this Batley side, they always choose to run uphill the second half. They always want to lull the other team into a false sense of security, take the energy out of them in the first half by going up the hill for the second half, coming down when they've got no energy.
Langley, well, Dewsbury know that they can beat this Batley side. In fact, their last win in any competition was in the Challenge Cup on April the 20th, when they knocked Batley out, winning 26-12 on this ground, so that they can do it. It's just in the National League that their form has been so miserable. No wins from 8, just the 4 bonus points. The best bonus point haul of any club in the National Leagues. But it's not doing them an awful lot of good.
You know what, Bill? It doesn't matter what you're going like in the league or what you're travelling like. When you play derby games, anything can happen and anybody can win, no matter where you are. If you're bottom of the table, you can't write this Dewsbury side off.
Liam Finn just steps outside the 40 to make that kick. He's then taken late by Chris Lythe, shares a exchange of pleasantries with him, and then Priest comes running straight back towards him. Finn looked round and there was Priest heading straight towards him. Craig Farrell gets to his feet to play that ball just inside the Dewsbury half. Byron Smith.
Wait. Go.
Spears.
4 hands out. Here, work.
Coming up to the 20-minute mark. Still 0-0 here between Batley and Dewsbury. And really no sign of a try yet. Nobody's threatened. There's been real cat and mouse stuff, mainly in the middle of the field. Maloney looking to create a little bit of panic at the back for Dewsbury, but easily taken by Tom Colleran, this young fullback, former Dewsbury Celtic and Shawcross amateur.
Both of these teams knowing that they don't have to win the games, takes that ball well, knowing where the ball was going, where Francis Maloney was going to get the ball to, but both of these teams knowing you don't have to win the game first half, you've got to win it in 80 minutes, and they're both just waiting for the opposition to make a mistake. And you can see Austin Buchanan now in, trying to get the team going forward, trying to get a bit of speed as the big guys get tired.
Talking about big guys, says John Simpson has just come on the pitch. He's in your picture, number 17, he's a big lump of a lad, that one.
Taron Wildey takes the tackle. Former Bulls Academy player Taron Wildey. And then the kick finds Ollie Marnes, covering across inside his own, deep inside his own half, and then running it back. Good chase by Dewsbury to cut him down.
I'm not sure what Ian Priest was doing there. I think he was racing him backwards.
There is Simpson. First hit up from him. Good work from Trinder. Ollie Marnes now.
Both of these teams, because they've been playing in the middle and they're so condensed, both of them, you can start to look to play on the edges.
40-20, Dave Merrick shouts as Maloney went for one, but it's took a kick in the wrong direction and headed away from the touchline, and in the end runs dead.
But still got him in the right part of the field where they're trying to force the error. You can see now the Batley team are all set on the the referee sends him back again.
If at first you don't succeed, is Chris Langley's motto. I wonder if he'll try again. He will, and run exactly the same place at Chris Lythe. And then Lythe is penalised. Well, that was just waiting to happen, that was.
Yeah, Langley, give me the ball. He's running it as hard as he can, using his frustration. I'd love to see players do that. Give me that ball and I'll jam it in as hard as I can, and I'll work hard for my teammates to play it quickly. Lythe just can't control him. He's not dominant enough. He doesn't deserve to control the speed of that tackle.
So the penalty goes to Dewsbury. Liam Finn will thump that one out of play. Dewsbury would be happy just to keep Batley at bay, playing against the slope, as Chris Hall takes the tackle, former Sedgley Park Rugby Union man. Finn. He had Martin Robinson on his shoulder but took the tackle. Now Elston. There is Martin Robinson. The sun just dipping behind the stand now. Chris Charles. Terry Glassy. Glassy for Langley again, seeing plenty of action, looking for an offload there but couldn't get the ball away. Elston. Little skip and a step from Elston. Tackled though by Farrell. On the last, and Ryan Smith puts the kick into the corner, and Fagboran went up for that. Touch judge is on, and I think the touch judge will be saying that Bryn Powell took him out in the air.
You're right, Bill. You're just saying then that you see Fagboran jump there. Bryn Powell takes him out when he goes for the ball. Touch judge was straight on.
I don't think you could say that Bryn Powell was going for the ball.
No, he was going for Fagboran. That guy, when he catches the ball, he's got speed to burn. But they're definitely targeting Fagboren there, aren't they, on Batley's left-hand side. I think there might be a bit of a weakness out there.
I was just going to say, it's a real shame when you're a dangerous player like Fagboren is, to know that on the other side of the coin, teams are going to attack you and try to expose you, to take that positive away from you. We'll see. No, we won't. I thought he was going to get the ball then.
Simpson across the field and then straightens up. Three of them to stop him, and he's trying desperately to get to his feet. Like a stranded beetle he was there. Maloney just managing to take play inside the Dewsbury half, and Dewsbury doing everything they can just to slow the progress down. Simpson through the middle, looking around for somebody to offload the ball. Lythe was there, but he'd overrun it on the last now. Lythe for Mennell. Mennell will just chip this one over the top. Well, there's a little bit of looking at each other there, and it's Bryn Powell who takes the tackle. Fagboren was all over his back. Powell didn't like the attention he was getting, but they play on, and it's with the fullback, Colleran.
And Fagboren trying to get his own back there. Bryn Powell's been putting him under so much pressure, but Fagboren there, when his back was turned, going in for the big shot on him.
Stay out, Chris.
Well, Powell none the worse for that, and here he is. 25 minutes on the clock, still 0-0. Finn with the kick. Maybe hopes of a 40-20, but it hasn't got the legs. And it's fielded by fullback Ian Preece.
Very underestimated player, Liam Finn. He makes all the major decisions for this Dewsbury side. Quite early on in the tackle count, he decided, listen lads, give it me, I'll get us out of here. We'll put some pressure on this Batley side in their own half.
Tim Spears plays the ball. Ollie Marnes. Elston with the tackle. Maloney.
Why give himself away then, Franny Maloney?
He was anticipating the referee's whistle, I think.
Not happy with his teammates. Where are you saying?
They've got to push up into that next hole, haven't they? They've got to support the ball player. Whoever runs with the ball, you've got to be there.
Mennell stepping away from the challenge of Terry Glassy and then hoisting the kick. It's not a bad one, and again Bryn Powell comes, and Fagboren, well, he did get his own back there.
Lou Fagboren being the one most enthusiastic in this chase. He doesn't jump too high, he just smashes into the two Dewsbury players. Eyes are on the ball until the last second, then he realises, bang, sorry lads.
Wait. Jimmy, let's get it across with there.
Referee Merrick just wanting Elston to take the tap from the correct place.
Is it the players that are too quick for the ref, or the ref that can't keep up with the players?
Robinson driven back by the tackle from Andy Boothroyd there. And again, good defence from Batley, but this time Dewsbury have got the ball away.
Danny Morn trying to find something for his teammates, trying to lift them up, get them into that extra gear, because this Dewsbury side's making a lot of yardage there.
Another bit of a mess over on the far side. I think a couple of knock-ons there.
Terry Glassy there coming up with the force pass. Didn't need to pass that ball. Said before, he's not used to playing out on the edges. You've got your 7 and 6 to do that, but probably finds himself out on the left-hand side there, trying to come up with that big play.
You need a good balance of respecting that player when he's running across the pitch and recognising it when you are the player, just to jam it in and nothing's on.
Well, that's a good run from Mennell. That's lifted the crowd. They need something to lift them. The game in danger of grinding to a bit of a halt at the moment. Fagboren now, muscling run from him up the middle of the field. Bostock, I beg your pardon, it's Andy Boothroyd with that run. Now here's Maloney. Maloney across the field, and Farrell's gone without it. It's snapped up by Buchanan. Buchanan could get away here. Just Maloney it was who just managed to get a hold of him, and crucial that he did, because Buchanan could have been away there.
You just feel had Austin Buchanan been able to evade that tackler, he'd have been under the black dot. He's the top performer for Dewsbury week in, week out. A real shining light for this team.
Clear, 3, come in.
There he is in the picture. Jamie Jones Buchanan, half brother Shows a lot of his qualities, a lot of his determination.
Ryan Smith plays the ball. Now here's Bostock. Finn. Well, Chris Hall was signalling for the crossfield kick. He's got it, but Fagboren's got that one as well. He dealt with that.
He'll get some confidence off them. Been targeted a few times, but you really want to get Fagboren with ball in. And you saw the earlier set when Batley have the ball and they get the speedsters in there, they really cause this Dewsbury defence some problems.
Clear, 3.
Danny Morn takes the tackle.
14, Ashley Lindsay taking the field, replacing number 13, Craig Barrow.
4, I'm down, Andy. 10.
Henderson plays the ball. Ashley Lindsay.
Now this is a lad who can add some impact. He can give this game that bit of spark. We saw it when Batley played up at when they played up at Barra, but he's definitely a player who can lift this team.
Maloney's kick running downhill, out of play, coming up to half an hour. Still 0-0. Gary Thornton a bit perplexed by that, perhaps.
Steady.
No sign of either side really threatening the whitewash.
But this is the fascinating arm wrestle, Bill. Which side will be the one that buckles first? Which player will be one that uses fatigue as an excuse?
The crowd got that one right.
It's a forward pass from Dewsbury. Jim Elston there. I think it's Bostock running onto the ball. I think he feels the Batley players breathing down his neck. He needs to get over that advantage line as quick as he can, putting pressure on the dummy half.
So that gives Batley head and feet at the scrum. Maloney running the angles, and Morn can't take that pass, and it's scooped up by Austin Buchanan. Buchanan trying to do something about this situation to bring a bit of life to this game.
It needed soft hands from Franny Maloney there. He'd run across the pitch looking for that good line runner, and that's a great offload from Dewsbury.
Chris Charles back on after a brief breather. There's the pass, and Morn couldn't take that.
I think Morn had adjusted his line, but obviously the ball doesn't move when it's in flight.
All offside. No advantage.
Batley give away another penalty for offside. Ollie Marnes it is on the wing, who can't make that 10 metre. Just at the top of your screen, he's not back in time. Dewsbury with the ball.
Well, this is an opportunity for the Rams maybe to put some pressure on this Batley defence, although Dave Merrick sends Austin Buchanan back to take the tap penalty once again from the correct spot, and then Bostock bouncing and spinning his way towards that line. The Dewsbury supporters underneath those posts willing their side on. Jake Wilson is driven backwards. That's great defence. Good defence from Boothroyd and John Simpson. They're back where they started, although Glassy trying to do something about that. Oh, and the pass just dipping, and Wilson couldn't take it. It was right down by his toes, in fact.
Teddy Glassy does what he does best. He hits a good line behind the ruck, bashes Lindsay out, but just can't come up with the pass. Look at this for a line. Bashes him straight out the line, Ash Lindsay, but just couldn't get that offload away.
It's as if that ball's in the other hand, that's a try. If Terry Glassy has it in his right hand and not his left, that's a try, that.
Jake Wilson, 6'3", had a long way to go to bend down to pick that one up. It really was down by his bootlaces, and there's no chance of him getting that.
The quality would have been better if it was in his other arm, but those are the decisions that you make and you don't make that cost you a try or gain you one.
So let off for Batley, and that is the first real threat we've seen in this game. 32 minutes gone. Anthony Henderson.
Come on, guys. Square up. Wait.
Doing the stranded beetle thing again. And Maloney under pressure from Finn, and just flung that ball. Unfortunately, it reached the hands of Lindsay, and King with the kick on the last, and it's not a bad one. Goes across the field. Danny Morn is chasing that one. They've got to look lively here, and they did in the end. But Colleran and Powell did a bit of push me, pull you, to me, to you, to me, to you.
There's pressure and speed. Danny Morn gets out the line and tries to get that ball. You just feel that whoever comes up, you were saying about the arm wrestle before, You've got to get in the arm wrestle. Don't make mistakes. Don't give penalties. Like Terry Glassy up the other end there, you feel whoever has a bit of a chance and goes for something will end up winning this game. Who's going to take the most chances?
Reaction's a big thing as well, Tez. The pressure was put on Francis Maloney. He threw it, went through another pair of hands. They put the kick up and the Batley players reacted. That's what you need.
Finn with the kick, but it's straight into the arms of Ollie Marnes. Marnes for Ian Priest, and Priest back for Marnes.
Whoa, move! Here, wait.
He's tackled.
Get up, Ollie. No way. Stay out, Chris.
Mennell.
Well, those are good yards, Bill. Right up, back up the guts where the big fellas are.
Here's Kevin Crowthers running across the field, back the way they came really. Tim Spears now, Lindsay. This is promising for this Batley side as they go down their right-hand side. Maloney, long pass from Maloney to Mennell. Mennell trying to take on Chris Hall, but Hall holds on tight, stops his progress. Boothroyd, still going Andy Boothroyd. That's the 5th tackle. They're on the Dewsbury 10-metre line. What's the kick going to be like? Is it going to be a kick? Or they're going to go for the power play? They are, and they're in there. And it's Kevin Crowthers with the try. His 3rd of the season. And eventually, the try comes. The first try of the game comes. And it comes to the former Dewsbury player, Kevin Crowthers. Had 3 spells at the Rams, but now he's a Batley player. And he was on the end of that on the last tackle. They went for the power play, and Crowthers just had too much power.
About 10 minutes ago we talked about fatigue. Who's going to be the one to let their opposition in? It's Kevin Crowthers here who makes the most of a short side play, uses his right foot step, goes from an inside to an outside shoulder, just dislodging that defence and just breaking it for the first time. 33 minutes of chess we've had so far.
Well, Kevin Crowthers, one of the senior members of this Dewsbury side. And now Kevin King, looking to add 2 more points after that try from the second row. King has kicked already this season 41 goals. And this one from wide out, but favours his kicking style round the corner, looking to drift it in. It looks good from where we... Oh, it's just missed. Can't have been far away, but we've got points on the board at last. And they're in favour of the Batley Bulldogs, who lead 4-0.
And they're starting to take the chances, and that Kevin Crowthers just said, give me the ball and I'll do something with it. He tucked it under his arm and showed some grit to get over. Gary Thornton really happy with that. Batley over the last 5 minutes seems to be taking the more chances, throwing the ball around. They've really targeted this Dewsbury side up the middle of the pitch, and they're starting to look a bit jaded. They're playing up this hill, and Batley have done a real good job this first 35 minutes.
No penalties. No pens, Chris. Get them low.
They come down the hill again with Henderson.
One. Move. Wait, Jake.
Built up a head of steam there, did Anthony Henderson.
Get up.
He's a good player, Henderson, and shows some power when he jams it in, but I think he gives his front up a little bit too soon. Kicking his leg in the air isn't going to get him a quick play of the ball. Fight for your front, lad, and play it with a bit of aggression.
Crowthers, the try scorer, plays the ball, and Fagboran in off his wing to take on this Dewsbury defence, who are equal to the task there. They might feel that if they go in at half-time only 4 points to 0 down, playing up the slope, then that's not a bad result, the Dewsbury Rams.
You just feel, Bill, now that they've got 1 try on the board, another one's not too far away. Playing for pressure, kick the ball down.
Maloney with the kick, urging his troops on. The time is running out in the first half. And Dewsbury will have head and feet at this scrum deep in their own half. But nobody in any hurry to pack the scrum, and the clock running down. Batley, of course, have their mind on a Northern Rail Cup semi-final, which they've got next Thursday, playing Doncaster for a place in the final. Celtic Crusaders and Salford City Reds meeting a couple of days later in the other semi-final. But you can see Batley against Doncaster here on Sky Sports. Sky Sports 1 next Thursday at 7:30. It's Sky Sports 3. In fact, the Batley-Doncaster game. So whether Batley have got one eye on that, which would be a massive achievement for them if they could get to that Northern Rail final, well, maybe that's perhaps affecting their performance tonight.
From players' point of view, they will want to go in winning this game against their old enemy Dewsbury. Dewsbury just looking as though the same again. We're not getting anywhere there. We've got to come up with some big kicks. Defending our line as the pressure gets put on the... Look at that for pressure by Lindsay.
That is pressure. And Liam Finn, well, he did well, more by luck than judgment, to find a teammate with that hopeful pass, and they were able to get the kick in, and it's fielded by Priest.
That's fantastic pressure from Batley. I probably wanted a bit more speed of the line, a better reaction from them. Sometimes a try gets them going, gets the teammates believing in themselves, and Batley, through kick pressure, have got the ball back in a really good position.
Priest will play the ball, and just on that 40-metre line, Maloney almost went without it, but gets the pass away from Morn, who does go without it. Ironic cheers from the Dewsbury supporter, and a bit of finger wagging going on, and
Listen, Jimmy.
Francis Maloney just pointing the finger perhaps at one or two teammates.
Francis Maloney's just saying to Danny Moore now, he's pulled him on 3 occasions, saying you're not hitting the right hole. To give yourself the chance of catching that ball, you've got to hit the space and not the face of the opposition.
Whoa! Move, Franny!
How many times did you hit the face, Tez?
All on top.
I think you've been hit in the face plenty of times. But anyway, Dewsbury surrendered possession.
The hooter sounds, the penalty awarded on the halfway line, and Finn will just hit this one straight down the middle of the field, putting the pressure on Ollie Marnes. Marnes takes the tackle. Referee Merrick blows the whistle for the end of a pretty cagey first 40 minutes.